Hello friends and welcome back to a brand new video. So guys, we are now getting a clear picture of what appears to be a stunning admission from the Donald Trump, not just about the strike itself, but about what didn't happen afterward. Because while the Americans remain stranded across the parts of the Middle East amid the escalating tensions with Iran, Trump acknowledged in the Oval Office that there was no evacuation plan in the place before the bombing began. So, guys, during a bilateral meeting with the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, a reporter asked a simple question. Thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there was an evacuation plan? And Trump's answer, he said it all happened very quickly. He said he believed the US might be attacked. He referenced Secretary of State Marco Rubio. But what he didn't do was explain why the American civilians were left without a coordinated government evacuation strategy before military action commenced. And that distinction matters here because launching a strike in a volatile region isn't just about the military precision, guys. It's about anticipating consequences, airspace closures. Now, commercial flight suspensions, embassy drawdowns, these all things happen. The State Department had already urged Americans in 14 countries to use available commercial transportation to leave. But when airspace shutdowns, that guidance becomes theoretical. In fact, US embassies in the region reportedly told stranded citizens they should monitor the updates and rely on existing enrollment programs like the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, which facilitates communication, not the evacuation. And that's not a deployment plan, that's a notification system. Now, here is where the broader criticism comes in, guys. Lawmakers on both the sides of the political spectrum have cautioned whether contingency planning matched the scale of action taken. Some argue that evacuation advisories issued after hostilities began are reactive, not strategic. Others say that when Americans are told to leave a region 3 days into a conflict after airspace closures, the window for safe departure may already be narrowing. To be clear, evacuations are complex now. They require nation coordination, military logistics, and security guarantees. But historically, major military operations involving volatile regions have often been paired with at least preliminary evacuation frameworks, particularly when large number of civilians are present. So the central question isn't whether the strike itself was justified, guys. That's a separate debate. The question is whether civilian risk mitigation kept pace with the military escalation. Because once the missiles fly, operations shrink. And this is the larger strategic concern. If the administration anticipated potential retaliation, as Trump suggested, then the logical follow up question becomes very civilian extraction planning wasn't activated simultaneously. Meanwhile, Americans on the ground face an uncertainty. Commercial routes disrupted, regional instability rising, and the guidance that effectively says use what's available to you. This isn't about partitions, guys. It's about preparedness. When military decisions ripple outward, civilians are part of that equation. And right now, the administration's own words suggest that equation may not have been fully calculated in advance. The situation is still unfolding, guys. Retaliatory risk remain, and whether evacuation support expands in the coming days will likely determine how this chapter is ultimately judged, not just by critics in the Washington, but by the Americans waiting for their way to home. So, guys, before you go, if you appreciate this fact based analysis without any noise, make sure you subscribe to our channel to remain updated. The stories are developing quickly, and we will continue breaking down what happens next. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear and respond back. Thank you.